Hey everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to my channel Being Physio. In this video, I am going to teach you all about this IV fluid which is called RL, Ringer's Lactate Solution. This is the most commonly used IV fluid in various conditions, and today I am going to teach you all about the usage, contraindications, and the some typical features of this Ringer's lactate. Hope you will enjoy this lecture. Now, if you will see the solute concentration, solutes in RL, it contains sodium, it uh, it contains potassium, it contains chlorine, calcium, and bicarbonate 3. The concentration or is of the solutes in RL is expressed in milli equivalents. 1 liter per liter. 1 liter of uh, this RL contains almost 130 milliequivalents of sodium, 4 milliequivalents of potassium, and 109 milliequivalents of chlorine, 3 milliequivalents of this calcium, and 28 milliequivalents of bicarbonate. And this concentration is almost same to the concentration of solutes in the plasma. That is, its osmolarity is almost similar to that of plasma. So that is why it is considered as the most physiological solution. Most physiological solution. Solution. Number one. Number two. It contains the mixture of various solutes which are identical to that of plasma in concentration. That is why it is classified as isotonic solution. Isotonic solution. It contains sodium lactate, and this lactate gets metabolized in the liver to bicarbonate. This bicarbonate is of very importance because when it releases bicarbonate in the blood, it it rapidly corrects the metabolic acidosis. What is metabolic acidosis? When you think of metabolic, think of bicarbonate. When you think of respiratory, think of carbon dioxide. Since it is metabolic acidosis, here something is not good with bicarbonate. That means bicarbonate is decreasing. Now, when you give a person the solution of RL, the sodium lactate in RL gets metabolized in liver. It gets converted into bicarbonate. Since bicarbonate adds up in the plasma, so the metabolic acidosis, that is decrease in the concentration of bicarbonate, will get corrected. So that means by using RL you are correcting the metabolic acidosis. It is used as the fluid of choice in diarrhea. Why? Why should we use it in diarrhea? Because the principal biochemical derangement in diarrhea is it is hypokalemic hypochloremic metabolic acidosis. Hypokalemic hypochloremic metabolic acidosis is the principal biochemical derangement in diarrhea. When you are using RL, it will provide the potassium, That means hypokalemia, decreased concentration of potassium, it will get corrected. Hypochloremia, since it also contains chlorine, which is the concentration of which is almost identical to that in blood. So hypokalemia, chloremia will also get corrected. And metabolic acidosis, since it supplies bicarbonate, metabolic acidosis will also get corrected. So you, that means it is the fluid of choice in diarrhea. Now it is also used in DKA. DK is the complication in diabetes known as diabetic ketoacidosis. A complication of diabetes. Now, what is bad in DKA? People with DKA are having metabolic acidosis, that is diabetic ketoacidosis. Metabolic acidosis. When there is metabolic acidosis, by supplying RL, you will supply, you are adding the bicarbonate. When you add bicarbonate, it means bicarbonate concentration will increase. It means metabolic acidosis, that is decrease in bicarbonate concentration, which happens in DKA, and that will get corrected. It also has another advantage in the DKA, diabetes, since it provides sugar-free fluid, also supplies potassium. So this is the best choice for the use in diabetic ketoacidosis, um, because it will not supply the sugar. uh, it is sugar free, and it supplies potassium. It also corrects the metabolic acidosis. So that has made it the fluid of choice in diabetic ketoacidosis. I'm going to raise this now. It is the most physiological fluid, uh, most considered as most physiological fluid. Its composition is almost identical to ECF, extracellular fluid in blood. So you can infuse large volumes without fear of electrolyte imbalance. If if you are if there is fear of electrolyte imbalance, if nothing is available, give him RL. So it will rapidly correct the hypovolemia. Now let us see the contraindications. What are the contraindications in um, g- giving Ringer's lactate? Everything has its advantages as well as disadvantages. So what is bad with the usage of RL? You cannot use it in liver disease. You cannot use it in shock. You cannot use it in severe hypoxia, when there is severe deficiency of oxygen, when the patient is in shock, when there is some severe liver disease. What is bad with these conditions? Because in all these conditions, lactate metabolism is impaired. So when you are supplying RL in these conditions, RL will further add up lactic acid. So it will exaggerate lactic acidosis in such patients. Lactic acidosis. So uh, I think I should give you some detail about lactic acid. Lactic acid is nothing. It is, when glycolysis happens, its end product is pyruvate. If oxygen is not available, it is converted by lactate dehydrogenase into pyruvate dehydrogenase into lactic acid. Mm, Lactic acid is CH3COH C double bond OH. This is lactic acid. Lactic acid. It gets dissociated into its corresponding base. CH3COH H single bond C double bond O negative. One negative plus H positive. This is the proton which it has released in the solution. Now this has become that this is lactate plus proton. Lactic acid gets dissociated into lactate. Now this is the conjugate base of lactic acid. Since it has the capability to accept another proton and will form has the ability to form its conjugate acid, that is lactic acid. So this is the lactate. In all these three states, lactate metabolism is impaired. When you are supplying, you will supply RL. That means you are in, since it contains lactate, so you are adding up lactate. That means the condition of lactic acidosis that will exaggerate. So basically, you are exaggerating the problem. So second, in congestive heart failure, in congestive heart failure, lactic acid acidosis takes place, which is more in the heart tissue. Lactate given cannot be utilized, so it will exaggerate the problem in case of congestive heart failure. So also you cannot give it in vomiting. Vomiting is also a relative contraindication to the use of oil, because what happens in vomiting, when somebody vomits, it emits the gastric secretions also come out through the mouth. So when gastric secretions come out, basically HCl also comes out. When HCl comes out, that means acid content in the GIT, in the stomach, decreases. That means patient undergoes metabolic alkalosis. When you give such a patient RL, since RL will supply bicarbonate after lactate gets converted into metabolized in liver, bicarbonate is produced. When you will supply bicarbonate, that means you are increasing the bicarbonate in such a patient. That means metabolic alkalosis will get exaggerated. So vomiting is also a contraindication. One more contraindication to the use of RL is you cannot use simultaneously in patient who is being transfused in blood transfusion simultaneously with RL, because RL contains calcium. When it contains calcium, calcium can bind with the anticoagulant, usually citrate. it can form calcium citrate and can precipitate. So uh, people uh, people who are receiving blood transfusions, uh, uh, they can get clots because the calcium can inactivate the anticoagulant citrate which is present in blood transfusions, and it can promote the precipitate the formation of blood clots. So I think this is enough for today. Hope this video was helpful. Be sure to comment, uh, to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you.